During this week in Pokemon Go, we are going to be getting a Pokemon Concierge celebration event, and we're also going to be getting a community day featuring the Pokemon Flabb. There's certainly a lot of things to look forward to during this week within Pokemon Go, and I'm going to be talking about all of the important stuff. So yeah, let's get right into it. Alright, what's happening everyone? Jinsula here with a brand new Pokemon Go video. I hope your day is going really well, and let's get right into it. So, this week is going to be filled with a lot of great content for Pokemon Go players. Specifically, there's going to be a tie-in event to the Netflix series Pokémon Concierge, and there's also going to be a community day. Now, in terms of a lot of the things that players could look forward to, I think there's going to be something for everyone, because when it comes to this Pokemon Concierge event, for example, there's going to be a new costume Psyduck with the potential to get the shiny version of that Psyduck, and I know that's going to get a lot of players hyped up for the game. And of course, there's also a community day, but there's also going to be a raid hour featuring Origin Form Palkia. And the one thing about this particular raid hour is that it's going to be extended, and the reason for that is because the previous week's raid hour featuring Origin Form Palkia actually had a couple of issues. So Niantic is actually going to be extending the raid hour this time around. So yeah, I think there's quite a lot of things going on during this week. It doesn't matter if you're a hardcore player, it doesn't matter if you're a casual player, there's going to be stuff to look forward to. But first, let's talk about the Pokemon Concierge event, and then afterwards, let me talk about some of the other things that are going to be happening this week. The Pokemon Concierge Celebration event is going to be starting this Tuesday, September 9th at 10 o'clock a.m. local time, and it's going to go until Sunday, September 14th at 8 o'clock p.m. local time. The Pokemon that's going to be making its debut during this event is going to be a new costume version of Psyduck wearing a swim ring. Now, there's also going to be some special wild encounters including Celio as well as Shinx, and you could potentially get a shiny Shinx. And also during this event, we're going to see the following event bonuses. You're going to get double the amount of candy when you catch Pokemon. Your buddy Pokemon will bring you items more often. You're going to have an increased chance to encounter shiny Psyduck with a swim ring. And then Psyduck with a swim ring caught from the wild will also have a chance of having a special background. And another thing during this event is that when you take snapshots of Pokemon, you're going to see characters and Pokemon from the Pokemon Concierge show. And then during this event, we're going to see the following raid bosses. In 1-star raids, you're going to see Pikachu, Magikarp, and Shinx. And then in 3-star raids, you're going to see Arcanine, Dragonite, and Luxray. There's also going to be field research tasks that's going to give you encounters with event-themed Pokemon, and there's also going to be a timed research which is going to be focused on catching Pokemon and taking snapshots of wild Pokemon, and it's going to award you with Stardust, encounters with event-themed Pokemon, and more. And then finally, there's going to be a paid timed research for $4.99 USD, and it's going to give you 5,000 Stardust, an event-themed avatar pose, and then encounters with Psyduck with a swim ring. Now, aside from this Pokemon Concierge event, we are also going to be getting Flabb Community Day. And the thing is with this Community Day is that, well, it's going to be featuring a Pokemon that not a lot of players had predicted would get a community day. But let's go over the details for this particular event, and then afterwards, let me talk about some of the other things that are going to be happening during this week. September 2025 Community Day featuring Flabb is going to be on Sunday, September 14th from 2 o'clock p.m. to 5 o'clock p.m. local time. We are going to see all of the different colors of Flabb during this community day, but unfortunately they're going to be locked behind their respective regions. Now, the featured attack that we're going to be able to get when we evolve into Florges during this event is going to be Chilling Water. This is going to be available to all versions of Florges, and it looks like it's going to be specifically a PvP-centric move. It has a lot of utility where it's going to reduce the opponent's attack, and it's also going to deal about 60 damage. Now, just like in previous community days, we're going to be getting a special research which will reward you with encounters with Flabb with a special background. And then there's going to be field research tasks which will reward you with Flabb encounters as well as Stardust and Great Balls, and some of those Flabbes might actually be ones with a special background, so that is something you should definitely keep in mind. Now, also during this event, we're going to have the following event bonuses. Any eggs that you place in incubators during the event is only going to have a quarter egg hatch distance. You're going to get double the amount of candy whenever you catch Pokemon. You're going to have double the chance to get Candy XL when you catch Pokemon. Lure modules are going to last for 3 hours. Incense are also going to last for 3 hours, excluding the daily adventure incense. You're going to get additional spawns when you take snapshots of your Pokemon, and you're going to get one additional special trade, as well as any trade is going to cost 50% less Stardust. And then for a limited time, the evolution requirement for Floet, which is of course the evolved form of Flabebe, is not going to be as restricted. And then finally, there's going to be a Community Day special background timed research, which is going to be available, and this is going to be for everyone, and it's going to give you Flabebes with a special background. Next up, let's talk about the weekly content, starting with tonight's Max Monday. So, during tonight's Max Monday, which is going to be from 6 o'clock p.m. to 7 o'clock p.m. local time, and then throughout the rest of the week, you're going to see Dynamax Trubbish in max battles. Now, the key thing is with Trubbish is that it is a bonus Stardust Pokemon. So, this is definitely one you will want to go after, especially because when it comes to max battles, they're not necessarily that expensive. You just need to spend your max particles and you can get yourself some bonus Stardust. But speaking of Trubbish, there's also going to be a Spotlight Hour tomorrow featuring this Pokemon with a 2x Stardust bonus, which is absolutely insane. You do not want to miss out on this particular Spotlight Hour because the potential to get yourself a massive amount of Stardust is definitely there. It's going to be from 6 o'clock p.m. to 7 o'clock p.m. local time, and like I said, it's going to be one featuring Trubbish with a 2x Stardust bonus. And then in terms of this Wednesday's Raid Hour, it's going to be featuring Origin Form Palkia, just like last week, but the one thing is they're actually going to be extending the hours from 5 o'clock p.m. to 7 o'clock p.m. local time. So if you still need to get yourself a really good Origin Form Palkia with Spatial Ren, then do keep in mind that there is going to be a raid hour this Wednesday featuring this Pokemon. Now, in terms of other raiding content that you need to pay attention to, just keep in mind that Palkia is going to be the 5-star raid boss during this week, but when it comes to Mega Raids, we're going to have Mega Pidgeot as well as Mega Gyarados. And then finally, let's talk about PvP. So until this Tuesday, September 9th, we're going to have the Open Great League along with the Retro Cup Great League Edition, and then afterwards, for the rest of the week, we're going to have the Open Ultra League along with the Summer Cup Great League Edition. So yeah, there you have it. This is everything that's going to be going on this week in Pokemon Go. And like I said, there's going to be something for everyone. If you're really interested in getting yourself a very unique shiny, then I think the Pokemon Concierge event is definitely going to be for you. And then of course with Flabebe Community Day, it's a community day. I think a lot of players tend to really enjoy these events, even if the Pokemon is not necessarily that relevant. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of stuff for you to do, and I think this week is going to be a pretty awesome week. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about that. But in any case, that's going to be it for this video. Definitely share your thoughts regarding this week down below. Is there something in particular that you are particularly looking forward to? Or do you feel like this is a week you're going to skip out on? Definitely share your reasons for thinking that down below, and let's have a great discussion. And thank you so much for making it all the way to the end of this video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if it's your first time here, and don't forget that notification bell so that you can stay up to date on whenever I upload videos. And real quick, let me give a shout out to all of my patrons on Patreon. You make this channel content possible. If you want to support the Content channel, the best way you can do that is going to be by joining my Patreon. And if you decide to become a paid Patreon member, I'm going to add you to my Pokemon Go friends list. That means for stuff like remote raids, the friendship system, opening and sending gifts, different things like that. If you want to play Pokemon Go with me, then make sure you go and check out my Patreon. I'll put a link to it in the description below. And if you want to support my channel in a completely different way, you could do so by following me on social media. My handle is at Jinsula. I'm on the platforms you see on the bottom of your screen right now. Make sure you go over there and give me a follow, and that will be a huge help to my channel, and you'll have access to some exclusive content. And that's going to be it for this video. I'm Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, love yourself today, and I'll catch you all later.